Hi everyone and welcome back to It's a Twin Thing. I hope you all enjoyed yesterday, and today's topic is tongue tie. So I've got a good friend of mine, Steph, and she's going to be sharing her experiences with her daughter Talia and tongue tie. So I hope you all enjoy the clip, and we'll see you all tomorrow, and tomorrow I'll be talking about hiccups with babies. So tune in and we'll see you then. Thanks. Bye.
Hi everyone, I hope you're all doing well. I'm Steph and I'm just going to share a little bit about tongue tie and my experience with it with my daughter. So my daughter was born in March this year, and when she was first born, so my milk came in pretty quickly, so I was really lucky, and she latched on straight away, and she seemed to be feeding really well. So I didn't assume that there was any issue until about 8 weeks after she was born. She just always seemed really hungry, like she wasn't getting enough milk, and my breasts were always really full. I was getting a lot of lumps and clogged and, very uncomfortable. So one of my girlfriends suggested that I get a lactation consultant to come and assess my daughter. She wasn't checked, unfortunately, in hospital by the pediatrician or the midwives. So I got a lactation consultant out, and she did a pretty thorough assessment on her. And it turned out that she had a posterior tongue tie, which is something I'd never heard of. I didn't know it was a thing. So basically a tongue tie is when the skin at the bottom of your tongue, under there, it's attached quite a bit further to your tongue, so you're not able to move your tongue around, and basically it can affect you in different ways. So it can cause feeding issues in future, also with things with speech, eating issues. You think about, and she explained it in a way like, imagine trying to eat an ice cream when you're older, not being able to poke your tongue out, things like that, even just kissing, simple things like that. So it was a pretty severe tongue tie. Obviously there's different levels. It can be, some babies have a minor tongue tie, but they're still able to feed well, whereas my daughter's was quite severe. So she was, trying to get the milk out as hard as she could, but it just wasn't working for her. So that was diagnosed quite late. So if you are having a baby, or you think your baby's having issues with or not poking their tongue out, or just not feeding well, speech therapy issues, it's something that I highly recommend you look into. So once we'd established that that was the issue, we were able to do something about it, and she told us we had a few options. So we could either just teach her how to use her tongue as best as she could, or there is a procedure that you can get done. I think it's called a frenectomy, and there's only 3 dentists in Melbourne, or 3 or 4 dentists in Melbourne that specialise in this with babies. So basically they, when the baby's quite young, a newborn, is actually the best time that you do it, because the area in the mouth of a baby, it heals very quickly. So what they do is they cut that skin under the tongue, so that the baby's able to use their tongue better, and it heals very quickly because it's cut with a laser. So it's cut with such a high heat that the healing is very rapid. So within a week or 2, it's totally healed. Unfortunately, it's not painful for the baby, it's just uncomfortable. And with the operation comes exercises that you need to do as the parent. So my husband and I, we had to hold her head down, and 3 times a day hold her tongue back and kind of massage the wound so that it didn't close up, because that can happen as well. And then basically you'd need to redo it again. So we thought about it, and we said that, it's probably better to get it done while she's young, because we didn't want it to cause any issues in future with her speech or with her eating, and it was also probably uncomfortable for her. And once it was done, I was able to teach her how to use her tongue again with feeding and things. for me, it was, you know, she was still pretty good on the breast, but she preferred the bottle. So luckily I was able to express my milk and give it to her that way. But if you think you are having any issues with feeding, or your baby isn't poking their tongue out, or they're getting, you know, a blister is another sign, you should look into getting someone to check their tongue for a tongue tie, because it's not overly common, but I think 3% of babies can suffer from tongue tie. And it's hard to see, like when they're trying to eat but they can't, because, you know, their tongue can't get that milk out as well. So yeah, if you have any questions about tongue tie, or want to know anything, or who the doctor or dentist that we saw was, feel free to get in touch and I can answer any questions. So I hope that was helpful. There's plenty of information out there on the Royal Women's Hospital website. There's different levels of tongue tie, so some are worse than others. So yeah, thank you.